Spider-Man tickets go on sale. Nicolas Cage is Dracula. And some other stuff was going on Midnight's Edge in the morning. Greetings and salutations, as one YouTuber says. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever time it is, where you is. That's what I say, but culture stole it from me. That's all right.
I did.
I stole it from Truman anyway.
Right.
But yes, we have Culture Casino with us here this morning. Hello, sir.
Hey, how's everybody doing? I'm glad to be here.
And of course, we're glad to have you. But of course, we're also glad to have the boss man with us as well. How are you doing, Andre?
I'm doing excellent, and I'm doing much better since I'm here with two of my best friends, Tom and Culture. So we're going to have a great show for you, just because it's the three of us.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll see who else pops in over the course of today. And it's not just the three of us. There's all of you guys in the chat there as well, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're great. I'm telling you, the support we get from all of these folks is amazing. Thank you for being there, guys.
Exactly, and we have Etienne Falardeau, who has some very sound advice for everyone, saying hit the like, y'all. We have Olaf van S here. We have Will Bloom, an American lost in Sweden. So that's awesome. And Naked Fame is wondering, Andre, why is Santa Claus gay in Norway? Is he? This is complete news to me. So you have to elaborate on that because it's news to me. And Olaf van S says that expect Valiant may pop in later too. Yeah, let's hope. Valiant is always welcome to join us. Someone also here is Natasha, wrench extraordinaire, who also says like and subscribe to Culture Casino. Link is both in the description and there on screen, so do that. Waiting for Nerdrotic says hail, and I'm sure that he's quite used to waiting for us as well. So
I believe I've been in a conversation with him and Ruthie all morning about Die Hard and whether or not it's a Christmas movie.
That old discussion.
Age-old argument, yes.
Yeah, exactly. And we have Southern California represented by way of Nancy Hickman. So, hey, Nancy, thanks for joining us this day, or this morning in your particular case. We also have Lee Kindler here, DS Ford here, Lady Lion Tooth says hello all. Lindsay the Cynical Geek is here, Judah Khan is here, Cosmic Squirrel is here, and Bashi Washi is here, and so is Jillian M, among many, many others. So everyone just smash that like, help share this screen, and we're going to get into the show. But before that, we have something really cool to show you, don't we, Tom?
Yes, the ladies of Toxic Femme have got together, and we are putting out a pinup book. And right now, if you sign up early, we will be giving away those who sign up early a special bonus. But yeah, sign up now for all the information when it drops. We're hoping to have that up in the next week or so. So stay tuned for that. Lots of fun stuff there.
Wow.
It's going to be awesome.
That is awesome. I mean, that's something really cool. So do check that out. The link is in the description.
Yes.
You don't want to miss out on this.
Especially if you're a fan of the classic like World War II pinup girls. This is going to be a book for you. We're going to have, of course, all kinds of different tiers. There's going to be 12 pinups in the book itself, featuring the ladies of Toxic Femininity, and maybe even a few of the gentlemen who hang out from time to time. Don't want to give too much away, but Peter Gilmore, of course, is going to be doing most of the main art. We also are working on a special cover by Gary Kissel. So that will be super cool.
That will be cool.
We're even kind of maybe hoping to do like a foil cover and some other cool stuff, and maybe some trading cards and other business, but I don't want to give away too much yet. And Paulie says, add 13th May. Well, maybe we can, like I said, Paulie, the men of Midnight's Edge will find their way in there. And who knows, maybe even Az and Cameron and whatnot too. So we'll see. We'll see how it works out. I don't want to give too much away. But we're very, very, very excited about this. So sign up now to get a special bonus that you will only get if you sign up. So there you go.
That's exciting. Like that a lot.
Yeah, we're really excited about it.
I can see like, just a completely swole Polly, like, like leaning on a car or something, or, I could, see you, He-manning it up somewhere,
I will say maybe Peter.
Could see.
I don't want to give too much away.
I could see Valiant Renegade, like just with like 500 guns hanging off of him, like in a action pose.
Well, I know we're trying to get, like I said, we're trying to get like Az and Cameron for sure involved. We'll hide Andre in there somewhere.
There you go.
I'm sure I'll make an appearance. We'll see who we can all work in there in some of these, but we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna definitely have some fun, and of course, we have more than just the main ladies. Also, we're gonna try and get some of the other toxic femmes involved as well. It's gonna be a fun project, and we're looking forward to that. But we also have some super chats. Let's get to those before we get to the headlines here.
Jump on it, yeah.
Let's see here. Where did we leave off? I gotta scroll back up here. I do gotta say I'm happy that StreamYards has allowed us to do this now, but it does take a minute to scroll. So
but man, it's so much better than it used to be. Remember, it used to have to like go back.
Now they just need to make it to where we can see the super stickers like Darius Munchausen here, who I'm sure probably sent us a
box of popcorn. Yeah, you can almost say
he always does. And then we got Cardinal Sin, who has re-upped his membership. Thank you for that,
Cardinal Sin. Thanks, brother.
Let's see here. What else did we have? We got Six sharing all the links. Thank you so much for that, Six. I think Mr. Tickle Trunk is here as well.
Yeah.
And Lindsay. So we got all kinds of great wrenches here this morning. Natasha is here as well. I see. Yeah. She says, hail, and hit that like button. Do hit the like button, please. Yeah. And share out the link if you haven't already. That also helps us. Let's see here. Next, I'm so sorry, guys. This takes a little bit to scan through.
It does. There's like here
we go. We got Callum Lyle, one of our regulars. How you doing? Sending in $5 Australian. G'day, mate. I think it's like middle of the night where you're at now. Says, did you read Kevin Smith's interview on Screen Rant? It was really pathetic.
Yes.
No, I didn't, Callum. I did see his Twitter post. But I'm sure Andre might be interested in talking about that. If Script Doctor, if Culture Casino can find the link to that. It looks like he's already on it. So, yeah, maybe we'll check into that here in a little bit. So hang on to that thought there, Callum. Oh, and I'm so sorry waiting for an erotic. Don't misgender me. I'm a lady. Well, and you are. I can see now from the icon.
She's a lady.
And it's nice to have more ladies in the fandom. Right. That's nice. So I apologize for misgendering you. And thank you so much for the $1.99 to call me out on that. But I will remember that. And then we have Hyper Guyver 2, who I'm pretty sure is a guy. Sends in $5. Says Die Hard is a Christmas movie and A Christmas Carol is a horror movie. Thought this was common knowledge by now. Well, in some places it is. I'm not going to get into that debate this morning, although it is one of my better debates. I'm pretty good at winning that fight.
I almost said a bad joke, but we're too early in the show.
Master debater?
Oh, yeah.
Go for it.
Nah, you already beat me to the
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Deleted Seeds. Say how you doing, Steven? Says, hail, Andre, Tom, Culture, fellow wrenches, and chat. Listening from the road. Well, drive safe, my friend, and we're glad we can keep you company along the way. And we have Primer sending in $5. Says, a Norwegian Christmas commercial depicted Santa Claus and gay relationship. NBC News did an article on it. Yeah, I heard about this. I hadn't seen it yet. Have you seen it, Culture?
I saw the clip, or like the JPEG of the smooch, that was it. Look, some of this stuff I'm beyond caring anymore.
So it's almost like not surprising, right?
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. I mean, we had some of those. We've had these aspects in our lives since the 80s, and so I'm like, why are we? What's the point now? I mean, we've already been through all of this, and everybody came out fine the end of it. Why are we now trying to like make it I don't know if weaponized is right or not, but it doesn't make sense to me. So largely I ignored as, the
Well, I think the bigger part wasn't it
clickbait
part of
that
the
it is.
commercial where he like leaves his family and all this business and then goes with the
Oh, I don't know about that. If that's the case,
it's like this
wow.
big convoluted thing. I haven't seen the whole thing yet, so I can't completely comment on it primer. But
That's very strange.
maybe
Yeah.
we'll grab that before the
Well,
show's
hey,
over so we can
Santa
get Andre's
Claus
opinion.
leans into the bad dad trope. Is that what you're saying?
Something like that. I don't know. Andre had to step away for a moment, so
Nah, we're good. All right. Well, I'm sure we'll come back and comment on that.
definitely. Yeah. If somebody wants to DM me the trailer commercial, I mean, sorry, not trailer. Then that would help. Callum Lyle sending in another Australian $5. Says that Toxic Vem video on Monday proved even more that women are better at telling dirty jokes. The way they roasted she-male healing was great. Yes, indeed. I'm sad I missed part of that.
They were on fire, but there was a word that appeared so many times from I can't do it in like the span of like 3 minutes. I think I texted Tom. I was like, how many times? It was really funny. I'm not gonna say it, but
oh yeah, it was great. Yeah. And then I showed the little figure.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh, I still love that. It's still one of my favorite moments. I still think a whole video of you recreating that.
It's on the docket. Ironcaster says money to help fund Tom toy. And then speaking of the toy actors, here we go.
That's right, Ironcaster. That's right.
Yes. See, I told Andre I need a budget.
You need a budget for a toy budget. I need a toy budget.
I need a budget.
I don't own all these toys already. No.
The beauty is that they're a one-time investment. I mean, they don't require like lodging or food or anything. Just like
and I can blow them up and shit. It's amazing. Well, here's the funny thing. No, the first thing I said to Andre was, "Look, I'm gonna have to buy a Gila and a Evil Lynn figure. You know this, right?
Yeah, you're gonna have to do that really freaking fast then, because I'm almost done with post-mortem. Where will we need that?
Yes.
Well, if you want me to do that version of it, yes. But like, I'm gonna have to see if I can find them out there. But because like, there's no way I can fake those. Like, at least the other characters look close enough to their original versions, their origins and whatnot, to where I can make them work. But I don't know about some of the other ones. But thank you, Ironcaster, for that. See, we already got a budget started there, Andre. The other bit is finding a decent camera to be able to film small figures like that.
The one that you have is going to do for right now, because we want this post-mortem out in the next few days here. So
we'll see what we can do there. And then we got a super sticker from Rob Altis, but I don't know if I can see what it is.
Rob Altis. Rob Altis super sticker is a pair with a thumbs up saying cool.
Thank you so much for that, Rob.
And did we welcome Cardinal Sin as a new member?
He actually re-upped his membership. Yes, indeed.
Yes, excellent. Fantastic.
And then your Muslim uncle sent us a sticker as well for $1.99. What would that be?
That is an on-set director's chair for $1.99. Awesome. Thank you, your Muslim uncle.
At least somebody's on set. Let's see here. What else we got? We got Hypergiver, who just says clitoris. I don't know if I even told Andre this story.
Oh my goodness. I'm serious. I'm like watching the show.
I'm most excited how this is relevant in any
way. The other night when I didn't wake up for my alarms because my blood sugar had spiked or whatever. I had woke up to I don't know how many phone calls and messages. Where are you? The show's starting. Are you okay? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? All of a sudden, here's one from Culture Casino. Doesn't say anything else. Just, I don't think I've heard the word clitoris so many times on YouTube.
It's true. I was like, oh,
and I'm like, what the fuck?
The boss and I
you see, like Tom doesn't show up for toxic femininity, and you see what happens.
It was amazing, Andre. It was. I mean, seriously, the boss and I were in the media room laughing and just losing our minds, just tears. I'm like texting Tom.
Here's like the thing: when you have and everyone is like shocked to learn that she's the one person who can make Mandy blush.
Oh man,
yeah, Mandy and I are already bad enough, but you add her to the equation, it's all bets are off.
Oh man, it was incredible. That was like it. That was the best 6 minutes.
Because Cameron, off the chain, as they say.
Yeah, Cameron Pasha rolled in like exactly at that moment. So like there was jokes about it was genitalia
That
all the
poor
way.
guy was under the weather as it was, and
Oh man, it was incredible.
Yeah, everyone go and check out the Toxic Femininity, which is this episode right now is over at Midnight's Edge Live Archives. Do subscribe for that if you haven't done so already, because that is where all live shows go when you no longer find them on the main channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we also have Mags hanging out today. Thank you so much for being here. There's also a wrench and a member. It says, hail all. It's the first of the month for me, so I can hang and relax with my favorite peeps here. Well, thank you for being
Mags.
here. We love it when you're able to join us.
Yeah.
We got that 70s rock fan who's also a member. Thank you so much. Says, I'm waiting for 4K versions of Tom's Toy Wars with full soundtrack. See, this is what I'm trying to say, but Andre doesn't understand that artistry takes time.
Yeah, and here's what you don't understand. We don't have
time. Then I need money.
So and also like just look at George Lucas when he worked with no money and no time. He made the original trilogy,
and he had a heart attack. Almost.
Yeah, well, it was worth it. I mean, we're still talking about Star Wars today because of it. I mean, if he only had done the prequels and stuff like that, would anyone remember Star Wars to this day? So no, you see there, some pressure in time and budget and stuff is good for you.
And SDR Red Wolf sends in more cash for Tom's Toy reenactment. Later on, we'll have to spurge for setting up a Raspberry Pi based web camera for further filming. We'll DM the project link. Okay. Does that mean you guys want to watch me filming it? Is that what you're saying?
I think that'd be awesome too. Yeah, the making of. It'd be a making of.
You know what? Yeah, I think that the making of that's going to be like a huge hit on After Dark.
Me throwing toys and getting pissed? Yeah. Why won't you fucking stand up?
Wow.
Kyle Gaggio, if I'm saying that right, Gogio, one of those two, Gaggio or Gogio. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering it. Sends in $5. It says, "You guys see the WDW Pro article about KK?" I haven't.
Not just yet. No, I haven't.
I'm going. I just went on a spelunking adventure to try to find it, so we'll see.
So we got Culture working on that, and while he's working on that, we also have a couple other things to get to here quick. We got Dr. Long Dongler who sends us a super sticker for
that's a smiley face, a big open mouth smiley face with dollar signs in its eyes.
Hey, nice. Yeah. He likes money. And with that, we are caught up.
All right,
on the super chats, and
nice.
First of all, we have some Spider-Man news. Then we're going to get into a He-Man story that was brought to our attention, Andre. And then we'll talk about that other story probably on top of Nicolas Cage is now Dracula.
That's such... I would never in a million years have considered him for Dracula. So, but yeah.
Do you hear that? Such music they make, the children of the night.
Oh my God.
It's amazing.
I can't wait for this movie already.
And then we had somebody else brought in a super chat about the Norwegian Santa Claus commercial. Have you seen this yet, Andre?
No, I have not. I have not seen a Norwegian commercial, and I despair already. Like, must be SAS or something.
Okay,
like that.
Well, yes,
they're doing stuff like that.
A few people have sent me the link already, so thank you for those who have. We're going to get into that.
Well, put it to me in PM, so I'll see it. Like,
I haven't seen it myself. We'll just watch it. We'll just watch it here. Why not?
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
Let's get through the Spider-Man news first, since that's the top story of the day.
Yeah.
Spider-Man No Way Home smashes Fandango's first day pre-sales records for 2021. In fact, I think it was Diego yesterday was talking about he's trying to get his tickets and they crashed the websites over there. So I guess
that seems sounds about right.
Yeah. According to Fox Business, it jumped on me. Spider-Man No Way Home has broken Fandango's record for 2021 movies first day ticket pre-sales. Advanced tickets for Spider-Man No Way Home went on sale at 12:01 a.m. on Monday. The demand for the fans caused multiple ticketing websites to temporarily crash, including AMC Theaters, Fandango, Regal, and Cinemark. So pretty much all of them. So according to Fandango, it only took 2 hours to break the 2021 pre-sale record previously held by Black Widow. Other films that the Friendly Neighborhood superhero swung past include Avengers Infinity War, Star Wars: The Last Jedi. And this thing keeps jumping on me. Thanks, Fox. Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker, the Rogue One Star Wars story, and previous installment Spider-Man: Far From Home, which grossed over $1 billion worldwide and is the 4th highest grossing movie of 2019 and the 25th highest grossing movie of all time. Pre-sales for Spider-Man No Way Home are the biggest since 2019's Avengers Endgame. Following the first day pre-sales, scalped tickets for the movie have been listed on eBay for as high as $25,000. Now, there's been no bids on that last I checked, but there were plenty of other tickets up there for like hundreds, or if not hundred, at least dollars or more. So yeah, people are scalping them. The latest installment in Sony and Marvel's blah, 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 blah. Yeah, a bunch of crap about the movie. Okay, so are we surprised by this first day ticket sales culture?
Look, you guys have been convincing me slowly that this film's going to be enormous, and that people are going to be yearning for the return of Spider-Man. I really don't have an interest in Tony Stark's Spider-Boy Tom Holland, but that's me, and I recognize that. The reason that I'm interested in the film is because of the everyone else that's going to be in it, and I'm interested to see if they are really able to twist some of the storylines to get the multiverse out there. So we'll see. But am I surprised that it did it? No. I mean, most of these ticket sites aren't prepared for that kind of volume. So the fact that they got taken down that quickly with that much volume doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. Andre, are you surprised by this at all?
A little bit. It shows us a surprising strength and endurance for the MCU still. If this is all accurate, like for instance that it will like crash and everything like that in the US, that honestly doesn't surprise me all that much, because we get like so many stories about that happening when like key Disney movies are dropping. But then these reports that it was also collapsing in South America and stuff like that, and I'm like, whoa, that's more than anticipated. But then again, it's been quite a while since it has been some huge Marvel-like thing that everyone wanted to see. So yeah, probably the pent-up demand is great here, because whatever demand that there was for like something like the Avengers, neither the Eternals nor Shang-Chi nor Black Widow really satiated that demand, did it? This is going to be more of what the mass audiences will want. Now, for fun, I also checked like my local listings, how easy it was to get a ticket here, and I had no problem getting a ticket.
Yeah, well, I mean,
go ahead. I'm sorry, Tom.
I was just gonna say, I mean, just so it's clear, like these kind of ticket sales never actually equate to an actual opening box office, but I mean, when it's selling like movies like Endgame, Infinity War, etc., that's at least something to sit back and take into consideration. Now, what were you about to say? Sorry.
No, all I was going to say is, those types of failures because you're only buying a certain amount of space. It's on these servers you don't own, like, AWS or whatever. So the fact that it doesn't scale up properly or something along the way, that kind of stuff never surprises me with the ticket sales. But the fact that there was that much pent up interest tells me something more, right? It's another piece of information when it, as Andre said, when it comes to this film, you have people just absolutely amped up for it because there's a lot of pent up interest to return to something that might be good. Well, again, and maybe people are Andrew Garfield fans. Maybe people are Tobey Maguire fans. I mean, this is one of those rare.
That's what I think is the big thing. Is you got Tobey Maguire, you've got a Dr. Octopus, Green Goblin, all these guys coming back, and people know it.
Yeah,
and it's got more going for it than Flash does. And
Melina is going to be a hero in this, supposedly.
I don't know for sure, but I mean, it's kind of looking that way.
It looks well. Look, here's like the thing that he wasn't really a villain, even in the Amazing Spider or in Spider-Man 2. He was like fairly sympathetic right there. I can very easily see him being kind of a heroic character in this. Like, he doesn't have like any issue with this Spider-Man, It's going to be more interesting when he gets to meet his own Spider-Man later on. But yeah, I can see that being interesting.
It was the arms that were controlling him. Remember?
Exactly, it wasn't him. It was like the arms taking over. But we don't know exactly what time, where,
what season,
yeah. So we'll just have to wait and see. And I think many people are going to be are still very excited about the promise of seeing so many familiar faces return.
Yeah. And while we got a second here, I want to thank the Young Yoda and Freakadelic for being members for 3 months. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. And Paulie also, for some reason, is a member, but he's also a member of he works for the channel, but he's also a member. So there you go. Thank you for that, Paulie. And I did send you a link, Paulie, if you're not busy. But yeah, no, I think this is going to do well. We've been saying this for a while. It has a lot going for it. It was looking a little touch and go with how things have been going lately with Marvel, but I think we're going to get into Hawkeye a little bit more on Friday with Cameron.
Yes, I know that he has some strong episodes on that. Oh, some strong thoughts on that. I haven't seen Hawkeye yet myself. Honestly, I couldn't be asked.
I did watch the first episode. I haven't watched
the second one
yet. It wasn't that bad, but I was expecting worse, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, such a ringing endorsement.
Exactly.
I wasn't that bad, but I was expecting worse. This is not high praise. This is not high praise. Whenever you have to say, wasn't that bad? I was expecting it to be worse. I mean,
there was elements I enjoyed. There was elements I enjoyed. I see where they're kind of going with this, but it's kind of like another one of the same things we've been kind of seeing now for a while is the replacements. It's kind of what it feels like. And I mean, I like the actress. It's the what's her face from Bumblebee.
Oh yeah, her. Yeah, she was so good in Bumblebee. Haley Steinfeld, I believe her name is.
She's all right.
Yeah, she was really good in Bumblebee.
Yeah,
which I have seen. So yeah, but Hawkeye, I was never intrigued by Hawkeye to begin with. I understand that they're trying to set up the Kingpin here, which is cool.
Of course.
Yeah, that's like the most exciting thing about it. You ask me.
But knowing what we knew going in, we knew, that this is just another way of replacing another male character with an inferior new character, and it's just. Yeah. It's a constant cycle with these folks, and it's, it really does water down what they're doing. It really does. And I like I said, I mean, we've run into at this point, and Andre, I don't know if you've heard me say this before. I have had no interest in the new Marvel television shows since WandaVision.
Yeah, no, that did a lot of damage, that show there. Yeah. And the only thing I'm really interested in going forward is Moon Knight. I think Moon Knight has potential to be cool, but all the others, not so much.
Yeah, I mean, I love, Isaacs as an actor, right? And I think he's going to do a great job with the character. And they must be paying him a lot of money. Oh,
I can imagine. So yeah, good for him, and I hope that series will deliver. I hope that all of them will, but that's the only one that I actually have some decent faith in is going to do so. Yeah. And then we got a super chat on screen here from Kaiju King Gabriel, who wonders for $5, what are the odds that Doc Ock becomes the superior Spider-Man, like what happens in the comics? Octavius' mind in Peter's body. Now, first, I have to ask, did any of you read the Superior Spider-Man in the comics?
No, but I'm aware of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read it. I read the entire Superior Spider-Man run because that seemed like such an insane concept to me that I just had to read it. It's by Dan Slott. Yeah, and honestly, this may be an unpopular opinion. I freaking loved it. It was hilarious. I wish they had just carried on for longer because it was just a pure delight to read that particular run. Dan Slott even actually wrote a Conan story as well for a special. That was also hilarious. Actually, it's like a really short thing. It was like a 5-page ordeal with not a single story being or word being uttered. It's just like a story told in pictures, and it was hilarious. And so was the Superior Spider-Man. So I had loads of fun with that comic. So shoot me if you will, but I liked it. Will they do that in the movies? I don't believe that for a second. Because they only go for the really bad storylines in comics of recent years. In my opinion, Superior Spider-Man was a good one, and also you don't have the setup. You don't have the relationship between Dr. Octopus and Spider-Man on film as you do in the comics. And also, Dr. Octopus is a very different character on film and in the comics. In the comics, he's like this crazy scientist, this super arrogant dude. But that's the comic book version. If you look at the Alfred Molina version on film, he's nothing like that at all. Like, he's a pretty good-natured guy, really, before he gets like crazy from the arms. Now, we don't know how he's going to be in this version per se, but I would imagine that he hasn't changed so much that he's going to be anything like the maniacal Dr. Octopus of the comics. And without that, there's no point in doing that storyline. I mean, like, the only character who's anything like Dr. Octopus of the comics is Loki. Loki the Loki series. You would need someone like that to be able to pull off the Superior Spider-Man storyline on film, or on Disney Plus, or what have you. So I don't see them doing it. So I would say that the odds of that happening are slim to none. What say you guys?
Well, I think you and Yellow Flash are clearly in agreement. He says 0%. So if anybody would know, it would be Yellow.
Yeah,
Flash.
I agree.
Yeah,
with you.
if I had to like round, like I say, like slim to none. If I had to round out to an even number, I'd also say 0%.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, and this is just me speculating. I don't know anything about this or anything like that, so this isn't any kind of spoiler. I think he's going to end up sacrificing himself at the end at some point. And yeah, I think he'll be more on the good side of things. So we'll see. I don't think they'll do the Ultimate Spider-Man.
And I see that Yellow Flash also like the Superior Spider-Man.
Superior
yes,
Spider-Man,
excellent.
Yeah.
You're a man of taste.
Culture only said that like 3 times, but Captain Trek also sends in $5. Says thank you for joining the stream today, Time. Well, thank you, Captain Trek, for doing a stream about Midnight's Edge After Dark. That was the featured channel today, so I thought I could do my best to hop in for a little bit. That was fun to talk to you guys.
Morning.
So thanks for having me. Mags also sends in another 5 and says, I honestly didn't know Hawkeye was coming out now. I knew it was coming. I just didn't know when. Yeah, they got the first 2 episodes up now, and I think...
No, 3 episodes
they
are
got
up.
the 3rd one up now?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm too behind.
Of the 3, I've so far seen none. Because, yeah, like 2 weeks ago, I also didn't really know that it came out now. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Callum Lyle also says, I think Kevin Feige hates that he's male. You mean Spider-Man or Hawkeye?
No, I think he may mean himself. No, I think that Kevin Feige is like all woke people, so full of double standards that he loves himself to be a male, but he hates that everyone else is.
I will give him the benefit of the doubt that Captain Marvel was more Bob Iger's push, but at the same time, he's got to prove that to me yet. He has really not. Like, he's done so. See, here's the thing: is you've got too many things going into this, and I'm not trying to stick up for Feige in any way. I feel like he's lost control of this whole thing. It's gone beyond him. The same type of people that injected Star Wars with their bullshit are the same type of people who are infecting Marvel and other places. We've seen it already out there. We know who some of these people are. I don't need to name names. And yeah, there's been a lot of talk of this lady who's took over the comic side of things. I can't remember her name now. Somebody help me out here. But there's been a lot of rumors about her just taking over Marvel in general. So he may get gender swapped himself. So we'll see here. I don't know if he's too close to being gone, though. We'll see. But yeah, I don't know about him hating himself or being male. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't think so. So yeah.
Callum Lyle also says Dan Slott probably missed his deadline again.
Oh, I'm sure he did. But I have to say, what I've read of his, which isn't much, that's the Superior Spider-Man, and it was his one Conan story. I liked it all.
And then Spider Unlimited asks, is there any other ways to get back can be viewed? Only D+ or DVD news? I heard it's going to be coming to Blu-ray eventually.
Yeah.
I just don't know when.
No.
I would at least figure that Disney's going to want it for like good 6 months prior to doing that. Other than D+ though, no.
Yeah, guys, if you can have a way to, if you can and have a way to check it out, do.
It's amazing.
What I've seen, incredible. And I don't care, don't have to agree with me, but Beatles were essentially the band that changed almost everything in rock music, right?
Well, and here's the thing: what I love about this is this was a big dick swinging move by Peter Jackson.
It was.
Because Andre, I've heard a little bit more about, because you remember I pointed out to him, like, holy shit, we got the F word on Disney+.
Yeah.
I guess Disney pressured him to edit, and he said, fuck no.
Well, and good for him. Good for him.
And, Yellow Flash is in the chat, but he's also said some very complimentary stuff, as have others. I'm just saying however you find a way to see it, whether you utilize the services of a VPN
or
it's
like
it's
Surfshark.
Like those folks, the folks over at Surfshark, who would never condone that, by the way.
And be sure to use
you used to type a midnight or the code midnight when checking out, and of course they don't condone of piracy. We don't condone of piracy, but hey, once you have it, no one controls what you do with it. No one can check it either. That's the point of a VPN.
Yeah.
Hear that, Surfshark? Don't let me down.
Let's
get back to these.
Don't let me down.
Okay, culture, just let it be.
Sorry. All right.
We got to get back to these.
Sorry. Stop it.
You're mean, Mr. Hammer or Mr. Mustard.
Bang, bang, Maxwell Silverhammer.
And then I got Maxwell Silverhammer mixed up in there.
Right, stop it.
Tina Bojan, thank you so much for being here and a member. He says Andre mentioned Loki. She loves Loki, by the way.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
I like the song in it. I wish they had released a full version of it.
Then Spider Unlimited adds in the Beatles and Black Sabbath. Always number 1 and 2. Well, I'm more with Pink Floyd and Beatles, but I hear you. Black Sabbath had their place too.
Look, there are 10 epic bands that crafted everything else out of its own.
I'm curious if we're going to get. This sounds like list time.
Oh yeah, we can't do that today.
Andre likes lists.
Big fight. We'll have a big fight. One day I will definitely want to participate.
I don't know if we'll have a fight, but no.
Well,
I'm sure we have very varied lists.
Yeah, I mean, you have Led Zeppelin, you have the Beatles, you have Black Sabbath. I mean,
you just made Mike Cat angry or happy for saying Zeppelin.
Yeah, I mean the Stones, right? I mean, you had all these different things.
Just forgetting the Village People, as Bob A points out.
Okay,
in the Navy.
You can tell. In the Navy.
You also made Mr. Colliber cry, and
I'll mention Buddy Holly
as well.
Buddy Holly is the father of rock and roll, right? Like I'll argue up and down. Buddy Holly's the father of rock and roll. Right?
Oh man,
he brought that to the masses, man. Between him, Little Richard, and
I don't know. I hear. Let me put it this way.
Chuck Berry.
Watched. Yeah, there you go. See, I watched Back to the Future. I know who brought rock and roll to the modern age.
Those three guys, were kind of the reason it sounds like it does.
Yeah, really were. Yeah, I mean, and I mean, you have the influences, and somebody just said it out there was David Bowie, but you have that what the Stones did. I mean, they took the Stones and Zeppelin really dug into the blues, and that's why Grand Wazoo points out the blues is where it all started. Yes, and then Matthew W brings up a major point here, like these two bands are the reason why music was so good is because they were constantly trying to one up each other. It's true. Yeah, I mean the Beach Boys. If
Proof
you've never
the
heard,
competition is good, right, Andre?
yeah, if you never heard them live, right? If you never heard them live, man,
they both. I love how their little content, and then you got the same thing in the '80s between Prince and Michael Jackson, right? And those kind of competitions just made music better.
Oh God. Yeah, probably the single biggest voice in pop would have been Michael Jackson, and somebody's going to get mad at me when I say that Prince was probably number 2.
At that time, definitely.
Yeah.
No, I think that everyone would agree with that. At the time, he was number 2, and then of course you can have a discussion in retrospect. But it was obviously the two of them.
Yeah,
that were like the
Prince was the better musician.
The Prince.
Michael was the better singer. That's pretty much it.
I just read this
70s rock fan says they race and gender swap John and Get Back. He's a Japanese woman now, and Paul is a blue meanie. That was the meaning of the word. Yes.
Glove. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. But since we're on the topic of music, I want to hear those those top 10 bands.
Oh God! Well, of course you've got the Beatles, Pink Floyd, Beach Boys, Led Zeppelin, Fleetwood Mac, the Stones. Gosh, who am I forgetting here now? I'm drawing a blank. The Eagles came in later, big time.
So I'm one of those people that start to bring in other bands that maybe some people haven't heard of, like ELO.
No, they're great. They're big.
Yeah, Electric Light Orchestra, obviously.
Hell yeah. Moody Blues and The Who.
The Who, yes. The Who always get overlooked. And the Guess Who, for that matter.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah. And yeah.
But then like you said, it all started back with like Buddy Holly and Chuck Berry and those guys, and then you move into the.
I mean, and I was one of those guys. I mean, I was one of those because when I was a kid, there was an amazing band came out. They looked like nothing you'd ever seen before. On top of just playing a really cool version of heavy metal, they were called Kiss, I believe.
Kiss is a different. Yeah, that's a totally different.
It's a different genre, but yeah,
you got
Alice. But still, they were
Kiss.
influential. I mean, like
absolutely.
Without Kiss, there would be no Rammstein
or Gwar, for that matter, or even Rob Zombie, probably.
Yeah, no, exactly. All of those
and Metallica, right?
Well, Metallica is more like thrash metal, though, so that's kind of like a different genre.
Yeah, Metallica is more like the child of like Led Zeppelin and AC/DC.
It's closer to that, I would say.
AC/DC is overlooked a lot too. I mean, sure, a lot of their music you could argue sounds similar, but that's what they are, right? You're not.
Well, and if you follow the path,
get something else out of them.
Yeah, and if you follow the R&B path, you end up with bands like the Doors, and
don't forget the Doors influence,
a few of those,
and Motown's influence.
And some people, I mean, I know there are some. Here's the weird thing: there were some incredibly influential bands that only had one or two great songs.
Well, people overlook the Motown influence as well.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, think about it. You
had everything from Diana Ross to Smokey Robinson to the Jackson 5 to Ray Charles you had in there eventually, and all those guys and all that stuff, man. I mean, Aretha Franklin, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. The R&B brought in a lot of different sounds, definitely. But we got to get moving on with some of these super chats here. Melvin Belliard says, "Good afternoon, gentlemen. With the hype for the Spider-Man high right now, do you think that this is a potential portrayal of Doc Strange will hurt his next movie?"
Yes,
and he has a second part to it. Let's see if I can get to that here. You guys are naming all kinds of bands in the chat. Some good shit too. Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
Of course, many of those aren't necessarily influential. Like they could be like the end result of someone else.
Exactly.
Carlos Batista, of course, bringing up Pink Floyd, which is highly influential. But trying to find the second half of the chat here. Let's see. Here it is. Because in the trailer, they seem to make him out to be not only incompetent, but irresponsible for someone who is the Sorcerer Supreme. That's what makes me nervous for the next Strange movie.
It's an alternate universe tale.
I think you got a point there. I'm not so sure. And there's been a lot of debate on whether or not it's even Doctor Strange.
It's villain Doctor Strange is what it is.
Well, remember, there was a bunch of changes after WandaVision.
That would be if it's not him. That would be such a fake out, though, because I still haven't forgiven Spider-Man Far From Home for Nick Fury and Maria Hill in it not being Nick Fury and Maria Hill, but Skrulls in disguise.
I think it's a similar situation here.
Yeah, and if it is that, like if it's Nightmare or if it's Mephisto again, or something like that posing as Doctor Strange. I mean, this is one thing that annoys me with the MCU the last couple of years. It's been like too many fake outs.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't forgiven them for, you know, what they did to Nick Fury and Captain Marvel. You know, how we got.
I haven't forgiven them for Captain Marvel. Period. Yeah. You know, there was one thing I liked about Captain Marvel, and that was a beautiful tribute to Stan Lee in the opening credit sequence. And after that, it all went downhill. And so, yeah, it went downhill after the opening credits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that movie in theaters, and I have no need to ever rewatch it again.
And to answer the first part of that question, I think the portrayal of Doctor Strange in this film, unless the end somehow draws that completely outside of itself, is going to hurt Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which is has extensive reshoots. Is the preferred narrative right now. Extensive reshoots for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So just keep that in mind.
I still think we'll see the real Doctor Strange in there, but I just think that the one that does all the business with Spider-Man is not Doctor Strange. But we will see.
We shall see. And it's a sad state of affairs that we even have to contemplate something as stupid as that.
Well, we'll see. Peter Smigelski says a lot of the bands borrowed heavily from contemporary R&B artists who deserve the credit. So who deserves the credit? That's a good question. Well, like you got something like Led Zeppelin where they are straight up like basically ripping off the songs. They're not even like changing lyrics and stuff. But then you have other guys like clearly like like Rolling Stones and the Beatles who just took influence.
But yeah, except the Stones outright.
Well, yeah, the Stones. That's not a good one. You're right. That's not a good.
But no,
okay, Pink Floyd, and the Beatles, who really took more influence and didn't straight up rip shit off.
Yeah. God.
Beach Boys got in trouble for basically ripping off Chuck Berry too, though. So.
Yeah. Well, everybody, that was the other thing with music. I mean, you back then when you ripped somebody off, it was more like an honorarium of them, you know, it's like, or to honor
lead up
them.
to the whole thing with rap, and that came to a head with Vanilla Ice and MC Hammer. So, but Vanilla Ice was right about it in the end. And then I'm not talking about the whole dun 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 thing. I'm talking about where he said, like 20 or 30 years after the fact, where he's like, the only reason we got nailed is because we made money. Right. In the generation, so generationally, I would say like every decade since the beginning of R&B rock, you know, since it first came about, I would say it's like every decade you have a group of bands or groups or solo artists that define the sound for that decade. And so it would be really easy for all of us to come up with from, you know, to block out the 60s, you know, from the 50s to the 60s, from the 60s to the 70s, from the 70s to the 80s. You could block out those decades and kind of come up with. And we're forgetting country music and other things that had influence too.
Yeah, well,
I mean, there's a lot of stuff.
My grandpa introduced me to both kinds of music. Country
and Western.
That's right.
Well, people forget how much country influence had. That's kind of where Buddy Holly comes in. He took that country sound and he mixed it in with the rhythm and blues, and he made, you know, rockabilly basically, and then that spawned Elvis. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So it all ties back. That's why Midnight's Edge music will eventually exist. Those are the kind of conversations we're going to have here on that channel. Mexican Iron Man is in the chat. He's not on the show today, but he's here in spirit.
Yes,
so sorry couldn't make it today, brothers. Listening from the road. Great show, great discussion. Hail Midnight's Edge. He said Mini Guts Edge.
Okay, well there you go.
Mid Nuggets. Midnigguts.
Midnigguts Edge.
I think he wants some chicken nuggets.
Yeah, well,
He wants some rabbit chicken nuggets.
Yeah, he's here in spirit and in wallet, apparently. Thanks for the $20. My
always.
friend.
That's why he's the producer extraordinaire. He's always there no matter what, supporting in so many different ways. Can't say enough good things about Mike. He does so much.
Absolutely.
And I think then are we caught up on super chats?
Uno más.
One more?
No, we have one more.
Master Clockwork says my top 10 in order. Oh, Master Clockwork took time. Beatles, Rolling Stones, U2. U2 was another one I was going to bring up earlier too. Grateful Dead, Velvet Underground, Led Zeppelin, Ramones, Pink Floyd, Bob Marley, and Sly and the Family Stone. All very good list. Very, very good.
Nice.
Sly and the Family Stone, absolutely.
Yeah, Velvet Underground is one that doesn't get brought up too often. Yeah.
Yeah, Ramones, man. Ramones were punk music, man. They were the beginning.
Ramones used to be underappreciated, but now they're almost kind of oversaturated.
Maybe.
But I still love them. Don't get me wrong.
Whiskey
And then George says favorite Metallica tune is Whiskey in the Jar. Thieved. Yes, it was totally thieved. Indeed. But I think that was more of a traditional song anyway. So that one I didn't have as many problems with. And with that, we got another story here that Andre didn't know about.
Oh,
it was brought to our attention through a super chat.
That's right.
Kevin Smith has done an interview about Masters of the Universe Revelations. I figured we might want to comment on this, Andre.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. What does he say?
Well, tell us, Culture.
This should be good.
In an exclusive, Kevin Smith shares what the Masters of the Universe Revelation backlash felt like upon the show's premiere on Netflix in the summer of 2021. Kevin Smith shares they just do the same thing everybody does now. Developed by Smith, the animated series serves as sequel to the 1983-85 Filmation series He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
Yeah, that's a truth with need of, or a statement in need of some modification. But anyway, carry on.
While simultaneously ignoring the events of the new Adventures of He-Man, the story sees Skeletor once again attacking Castle Grayskull, only to actually succeed and cause the demise of himself, He-Man, and the source of all magic in existence, leaving it up to Teela to solve the mystery of the missing power sword. Smith assembled an ensemble cast for Masters of the Universe Revelation, including Chris Wood as Prince Adam He-Man, Mark Hamill as Skeletor, Liam Cunningham as Duncan Man-at-Arms, and Sarah Michelle Gellar as Teela, Lena Headley as Evelyn Majestra.
There's somebody missing from that list that we little knowingly had on the week before the show dropped.
Oh,
Mr. Danny Trejo does the voice of Ram Man in the show.
That's right. That's right. Development on the sequel series was first announced at PowerCon in 2019 as one of two Masters of the Universe projects Netflix was working on, with Smith's being an adult-oriented show while also working a CGI remake aimed at kids. Masters of the Universe Revelation debuted on Netflix in the summer of 2021 to rave reviews from critics, though not all were pleased with the show upon its arrival.
Wow. You think?
Chatting exclusively with Screen Rant to discuss the documentary based on his life, Clerk, Smith reflected on Masters of the Universe Revelation backlash. The filmmaker recalled seeing the large wave of negative reviews on social media and feeling like he was at the eye of the storm, crediting the director of Clerk, Malcolm Ingram, for helping pull him out of the storm. See what Smith exclusively shared below. Man, that is really poorly worded.
Not to brag, but on Netflix, I had a program called Masters of the Universe dropped the first half of their season, and none of us were prepared for a very vocal minority that went after the series very loudly. So if you know anything about social media, if you click on something, social media is going to feed you more. I was clicking on all negative, and all I was coming at me was a sea of, you fucked up my childhood, you piece of shit. How could you remove the Iron Cross? Just on and on, people shredding me for making Masters of the Universe when I honestly believe my heart of hearts, I was like, this is the most faithful telling of these characters' tales since Mattel minted their backstories. I did not think we were upsetting the apple cart. So where I stood, I was at the eye of the storm, and everybody hated my guts, and we failed. And that, I'm sorry, I'm starting to cry. And that's why my timeline was telling me. Malcolm Ingram, he called me out of the blue and he texted me, and first he goes, hey, congrats, you got the most talked about show on the planet right now. It's getting great reviews and everybody loves it. You must be so happy. I immediately put everything down and I was going to call Malcolm and I was like, is that what you read the situation? He's like, yeah, all I see is positive stuff. What are you seeing? I was like, all I'm seeing is people hate my guts. And he's like, well, stop clicking on negative things. And I was like, so Malcolm, is your perspective from the outside of this and I should kill myself? He's like, no, I think you're fine. I think anybody would be enviable of the amount of coverage the show is getting. I'm going to watch it now, and reviews have been great. There's my Kevin Smith for you. Thank you.
Well done. You did a very good Faithful Smith recreation. But anyway,
Yeah, that was impressive.
Yeah. Smith's Master of the Universe revelation became the subject of a review bombing. What a bunch of turkeys from fans of the original series upon its premiere this past summer, with many taking umbrage with the decision to focus the story more on Teela than strictly He-Man Prince Adam. The series also drew controversy amongst audiences for the death of some iconic characters from the original show, an element critics praise for raising the stakes of a story and subverting expectations. By the way, whenever I see the word subverting, I'm going to replace it with destroying. So let's read that again. And destroying expectations. The review bombing of Masters of the Universe Revelation also has been compared to the likes of Star Wars, The Last Jedi, and Captain Marvel, which divided fan bases for their different approaches to the source material than what they were looking for. Social media logarithms are a tricky subject in giving users more of what they've clicked on, even if it's not inherently what they want to see. Smith's fall down the rabbit hole of negative reviews for Master of the Universe Revelation may have been heartbreaking for him to see, though things were looking far better for him on the other side of things, as Part 2 is receiving generally better reviews from audiences, sitting at 55%. That's better. 55% approval rating from viewers in comparison to Part 1's 39%. Audiences can catch up with Masters of the Universe Revelation streaming on Netflix right now.
How is it getting that much more approval, other than the fact that nobody's watching it now?
Nobody's
but
watching
it, right? And that goes to his tweet the other day, right? So, like, here's my thing, because like Andre even said this at first, that it's not as bad as the first part. But after my breaking down of it, Andre, have you changed your mind on that?
No.
You still think it's better than the first part?
I do not like to use the term better, because the term better can be misleading. When you use the term like better, you can create like the impression as you give some kind of like that you somehow condone what's being done. So I will say it this way. I think that Part 2 was significantly less bad than
and
Part 1.
I still think you're crazy.
How about that?
And I still think you're crazy.
Yeah, well,
and to steal a term from Clark Griswold, y'all are fucked in the head.
Here's like well, Culture, where do you stand on this?
Nothing, man. I still think that what I saw Tom do, where evil Minlin or whatever goes for a ride on Skeletor's lap, is probably more entertaining than this show itself. So I will never dip my toe in the water on Part 2. I'm not even going to look at it. So
no, I mean that saved all of Part 2 right there. That was like the best moment. That was a highlight.
You think
so? It built up to that, and it all went downhill from there.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, I think that there's there's a couple of good moments in Part 2, whereas there's none in Part 1.
I believe you.
I mean, at least we got like a few seconds worth of Hulk Conan, He-Man smash with the battle axe. That was a little bit cool. Of course, it doesn't change everything else around it, but it was just awful all around.
Yeah.
I mean, Part 2 was the logical continuation of Part 1. In Part 1, they deconstructed. In Part 2, they reassembled, but in their own woke way. And this is what Tom is pointing out. And I see that, and I do not disagree.
Yeah.
However, to me, the deconstruction and the tearing down was more painful to watch than the reassembly into something woke. Because that, at least, I could laugh at.
Yeah.
Whereas the deconstruction and the tearing down phase, that was just gut-wrenching and painful.
Yeah, Nicholas Horton, you're 100% on it. Clownfish was right.
Yeah, they were.
You know, and Kevin could have saved a lot of face by just apologizing to them, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, because he's
Or,
already kind of admitted that he lied, right?
Or he could have done the best thing, which was to say nothing and just say, like, fuck, this is going to be a nightmare, isn't it? And just ride out the storm as good as he could. There's no good answer right there. Yeah, and Naked Fame points out, I swear on my daughter's life, this show is about He-Man. Yeah, that's a pretty horrendous freaking thing to say. He just swore on his daughter's life, and the show is not about He-Man.
Not in any way.
He-Man is just one of the secondary characters of the cast in the Tila and
He's
Evil
a
Lynn
supporting
show.
character in his
Yeah.
own show. He is
Yeah.
exactly what we call, and jokingly call some of these other people. And but 70s Rock Fan sent in a very generous $5, and thank you for being a member, of course. Says, I don't care what anyone says. The Ruddles are the greatest band in history. The Prefab Four were their legends in their own lunchtime. This is true. I can't argue with this. This is historical facts. But no, back to He-Man here. Like, yeah, I don't know where Kevin is getting so delusional. I think he's kind of really dipping for some pity points with the whole self-deletion bit. I mean, come on. Really? Did you really think he was meaning that for reals? Like, I kind of like the idea that he was actually paying attention for a while, though.
Yeah.
But then he got, reinforcement from other places that were like, oh, no, you're fine.
Yeah, no, inside the club, inside the circle, there you go. It is what it is. And I don't know. I look, one of the reasons I think that the score's artificially high on part 2 is because not as many people watched it because they were done.
It hasn't shown up in the top 10 at all from what I've seen.
No, yeah, Yellow Flash was pointing that out. I mean, other people have been pointing that out. It didn't appear anywhere in the top 10. Whereas the terrible Cowboy Bebop actually showed up in the top 10. So what does that tell you?
Right.
And also, there's one thing I would like to point out here, which I think is very important to the mindset that he's revealing. Because through it all, his statements, it's like, yeah, I went down this rabbit hole, but luckily my friends from the club reminded me that that's just a rabbit hole. It's like algorithms and stuff like that. So once you start going into something negative, you only see something negative, and it blinds you to the alternate factor, like their truth, that out there in the real world, everyone loves this. His friends all love it. They're all woke and they love what was done with this. We're going to go home and see it right now. And all the friends in the club, they love it to get so many reviews. He must be feeling amazing. What that statement right there, to me, just highlights the divide that people like Kevin Smith and Ted Biaselli and the people who are actually making this stuff, they live in a bubble. They live in a bubble that they think is reality because they thought that his venture into actual reality, that was just like some random haters that he only got to see because of the algorithm. It said so right there.
No, I think
he had to kind of comfort himself with like, yeah, no, people love this.
I think it goes deeper than that, Andre, and this is coming from somebody who's been a lifelong Kevin Smith fan. I think he just told us about the moment he sold out, the moment he completely sold his soul, the moment that he went to the dark side. Whatever you want to call it, it's Anakin Skywalker becoming Darth Vader. He is no longer Kevin Smith anymore. He has drank the Kool-Aid.
Well, sold out is probably the better way to describe it. Yeah,
sold out, drank the Kool-Aid. It's all the same.
Yeah.
Mecha J says Kevin Smith is just putting on the crybaby tears again for this interview. Expected instead of doing it to shill, he's trying to appear sympathetic. Oh no, I think he's completely convinced himself now. Like he's totally bought into it. He's gone to the dark side. There was a moment there where I think we still had a chance to get to him, and maybe we should have reached out to him, Andre. Maybe we should have had that one-on-one with him to kind of explain to him why this was a problem in a way that wasn't so, in his eyes, toxic or negative, by just telling him from a family, because we don't give a fuck about the cross on the fucking, you and I don't. Right, like that's the whole point. We don't give a shit about this little bullshit. We're talking about the big story.
And that's exactly why he brought it up, for that reason, to sell it to everyone reading as, oh, they're just like these little crybabies. Look at this really pathetic, pedantic thing, and they're not mentioning the real complaints. So they know the real complaints. There's a reason why he highlights that. This is like Playbook 101. This is like goes way back to like Fant Four Stick days, when everyone who wrote something to defend the movie, they would highlight how the fans are so horrible because they don't like Michael B. Jordan's casting. When really that was like complaint number 568 of all the things wrong with that movie.
No, I just found, yeah, you're right. Well, I mean, you're not wrong. I'm not arguing at all. Like, we just, that's the moment the Emperor, we realized he has no clothes. Like, this is it. Kevin Smith at one time was the king of the nerds, and he could have continued to be the king of the nerds had he just managed to find a way to stay in that zone where he's not quite a sellout and he's not quite woke. But no, he stepped over that line now. It's done. It's over.
He's completely woke, and I don't think that his enthusiasm will fool anyone ever again.
No, and I'm even more convinced now that he's probably doing a lot of this because he's scared. He knows once people remember Chasing Amy again, that's the movie that's going to get his ass canceled. Even though that was the movie that would have got him in the club 20 years ago, it's now going to be the movie to get him canceled. You watch.
Yeah. How ironic.
It's problematic as fuck. But all right, thank you for that, Mecha J. And then Mags firing in here again. Thank you so much, Mags. You're so generous this morning.
Yeah, thank you.
It says, Andre, you subverted my expectations by saying a part 2 with Evil Lynn is less bad than the first part. I'm devastated. All jokes, by the way. I just can't believe it because, like, to me, it's like 10 times worse.
And Max evidently agrees with you.
Yeah. Chris X149 says, reject corp fic, like corporate fiction.
Yeah, corporate fiction.
These clowns know nothing about what fans want. Kevin Smith has shown where his allegiance lies. You know, he's an ally, all right. And it's not among. It's not meant to be among. Fans, I think he means, yeah. He claims to be a part of. Yeah, you're right. Like he used to be. He used to be one of us.
Yeah, but that was like 30 years ago.
I would even say not even that long ago, Andre. Like, I'm serious. When in this interview right here, I think that's the last moment. Like, that was the last bit of what was left of Kevin Smith going away.
Well,
he was actually worried
the last bit, but then it's been grinding away for a very long time.
I know. You're right. But my point is that he had that fleeting moment of, oh shit, did I fuck up? That to me at least tells me there was a little bit of a soul left there of a fan. And then when he talked to Malcolm and Netflix, then it went away. You know, he basically talked to the Emperor and he talked to the, you know, it's done. It's over with now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We saw this before when he had like that ridiculous, embarrassing town hall when he was like, no, the people at Netflix, they say we're fine. Yeah, well, if they really said that, they were lying to you. Because if you had been so fine, this would have opened in top 10.
That's exactly the moment he's talking about in this interview, Andre.
Can I ask a question?
Welcome to Netflix. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
I want to ask a question specifically about him, and I don't think anybody's ever done this because most people, didn't want to throw sand on him already. But I have to ask a question. Every time you see him, he's wearing this blazer, this sports coat. Dude looks like a linebacker. He could not be wearing bigger shoulder pads. Does nobody notice that he like that? Those aren't his shoulders.
He has a strange. He's always had strange fashion.
Well, I think I know. Here's like the thing. I don't want to comment too much on the man's body, but if I may speculate on that, since you asked, I think the reason is quite simple. He didn't have like those shoulder pads and everything like this back when he was obese, right? Right. And then he had a heart attack. And he lost a lot of weight really, really quickly. Yeah. He lost it quicker than the body is able to adapt to it. So I think that the reason that he has all of that, he has like those big things, is that he has such excessive amounts of loose skin that if he were to wear a regular T-shirt, just a regular T-shirt, he wouldn't look like a skinny guy. He would look like what he is. Someone that was, I don't know, 200, 250, 300 pounds obese.
Right.
And then he just lost that weight and the skin is still there.
Okay. I don't know if the skin is still there. He can afford to have it medically removed, but I think you're right on the part of the shoulder pad business. I think it's because his frame has lost so much
Yeah.
That
Okay. I was
yeah,
just
that I think he
curious.
does on purpose. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not criticizing his physique or anything, but it's just it's just an odd look that I've been trying to figure out for a
No, he
while.
No,
lost a
I
lot
think
of
that's
weight
why I
with
think
that.
it's loose skin because yeah, of course you can have surgery for loose skin, but that's actually apparently a really big risky surgery,
Oh, it is. It's,
and
yeah.
and someone that has like had like his heart condition, he may not even be able to have a skin
That's
removal surgery,
that's also
and
true.
for that reason, I think it's simply a matter of
True.
adding padding to the top so that you cannot see all the loose skin sagging a little bit further down.
You could be right, Andre.
I
Again,
think I am.
I don't want to get
Yeah.
into all that business because it's his own
Yeah.
personal shit. But
Because here's like the thing that with weight loss, however tempting it may be to like lose a ton of weight really fast, and when you're as obese as he was, you can up to a certain point, but at some point you have to do it at a rate where the body can adapt and the skin can naturally tighten itself, and up to a certain after a certain point, like the skin doesn't have the ability to stretch or to like contract as much as is
Yeah.
no, I
needed.
get it. I get
Yeah,
it.
no,
I know
I
people
But
who have
in
had it,
his
man.
case, he's going to have the absolute worst just because of the
Because of what
maximum
happened.
speed that he lost lots of weight.
Not to comment on that any further, but just on the fashion part. Like this is what he used to like. Culture for years. His whole thing was he would wear slip-on shoes, shorts,
Yeah.
and a jersey.
Yeah.
Because to him, he felt like that slimmed him down the most. Now he still wears the bottom pretty much the same, but instead of wearing the jersey now so much, which he will from time to time, but I think he also put shoulder pads in the jersey too as well. But yeah, like he's been doing this sports shirt with a t-shirt underneath thing lately.
Yeah, the sports jacket thing. Yeah, I was just
Or
curious
sports
because
jacket, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I just noticed it, and I didn't know if anybody knew the actual answer. And again,
I believe he even has like a stylist he works with or whatever that's like his wife's fucking sister or some shit. I don't fucking know.
All right, I don't.
But like,
know.
yeah, like obviously it's just he's got a weird fashion sense. It is what it is.
Yeah,
I
so,
think
I think it's the two of those that you notice it more because of his weird fashion sense, which I understand. I don't begrudge him because that's kind of like his style, so that's fine. But it looks extra off now because of the loose skin. And as Max points out here, major weight loss that's rapid. The skin is so loose and has been stretched out so much that it can't basically bounce back. It's like a stretched out rubber
yeah, I
band.
know.
Exactly. Yeah.
I know people who have had it and had the same issue, so I understand. But like, yeah.
Yeah, but like he's gonna
But I'm
have it
saying like he
extra
probably
bad
lost.
because
Yeah,
of the
but my
weight.
point is with the shoulder pads, beyond just like you're saying, is it could be just because his frame lost so much, right? Like because if you're a big guy like I am too, and if I were to lose a lot of weight like he did too, I'm sure my shoulders would like shrink. It would look like they shrunk. So so he probably has dainty shoulders now.
Yeah, but well, I don't know about that because his bone structure isn't going to change anything.
To a point, you're right.
And with that,
Yes.
it's going to look completely ridiculous because that's obvious padding. And when the padding is that obvious, the only reason that you do that is because you want to hide something else.
Well, I just say that because there was one guy I know who got it, and he was like very big framed when he was big, but as soon as he lost all the weight, it looked like he had like a child's body, like his shoulders and everything. It just seemed like his whole body shrunk underneath his head. It was weird. Yeah. Like, so that's why I kind of picture Kevin being like underneath the jacket personally. I could be wrong. You're probably more right. Paul is playing though. Your fellow Norwegian sends in a super chat here and says the Iron Cross is still used by present day. How do you say that?
Bundeswehr / Armed Forces of Germany.
Yeah,
and they're also a NATO member.
To me, like that's just like Andre's right. Like he's just bringing that shit up as stupid bullshit that people are bitching about that means nothing.
Yeah, that's a deflection.
Exactly, it's a deflection. Chris Webb, thank you so much for the $10. Says so. The world has made the majority of fans unhappy. Why is Hollywood internationally and aggressively, or intentionally, I think he means, and aggressively pissing people off? Oh, well, this goes along with. Well, I can't say too many of the terms here, but it's a part of a bigger.
I don't think that they're intentionally trying to piss people off. That's just a side effect.
No, Andre. I think they clearly are, and they have said that they are. They want to piss the certain type of fans off. They want to piss guys like us off on purpose. They don't want us in these fandoms anymore. They
Oh yeah,
have
people like us. Oh, absolutely,
said
they
it.
do. But
They want us to go away, so then the fandoms will be safe for everybody else who feels unsafe because of old white men. That's who they are trying to intentionally piss off. Yes.
yeah.
And they are doing that.
Well, I'm so now
very
Masters
much
of the Universe should be bigger than ever now that it's safe and all the fans have left.
It never works out though, Andre. We know
I
this.
know.
But they are in their heads, and they've even made the mental gymnastics to go and say, oh, even though we may not have the crowd yet, they'll come sooner or later. They'll be down like we're future proofing it. The next generation will see what we did and they'll champion it. Like, I've actually heard these fuckers say these kind of things in interviews.
Yeah.
And it's like, how full of yourself are you? Right? Like,
I hope that they live to see themselves become cancelled. Because they deserve it.
Actually, from the picture that Six sent me, it almost looks like I'm right here. Sort of, kind of, but not really. We're both right in a way, it looks like. But I'm wondering if he didn't have the surgery here. Let me see if I can bring this picture up here. Hang on.
Is it back to Kevin Smith's body?
Yeah. Even though I don't want to keep talking about this, but see, yeah, he looks just like my buddy. Like that's what I was saying. He looked like Kevin did on the left there. Then as soon as he lost the weight, he looked like somebody put his head on a little kid's body. That's what Kevin looks like now.
Yeah, it's like weird. It's like something is like off in a sense.
Well, it's because that extra heft does hold up your shoulders. Trust me, I know. Like, I have back problems because of it. So I'm not nearly as big as Kevin is there. Thank God. But, point being, I do need to take care of myself better. But yes, thank you for the super chat that brought that Kevin Smith interview to our attention, though.
Yeah.
Then Darren Hughes says on that note, and if Smith only clicks on the positives, he'll get an equally unrealistic view of Motu reception. Yes, 26% liked it, but 74% didn't, referencing Rotten Tomatoes. And that is true. And that's where I was saying also earlier, Darren, maybe, just maybe, had we tried to get Kevin before Malcolm and Netflix got a hold of him, there could have possibly been a chance that we could have talked to him and he would have understood why some of the fans were upset as they were. But at that point, he was gone. It's too late now. He won't listen to anybody like us now. We're just parasites to him now.
No.
Yeah,
you were
much
before.
Well, yeah, I think we
honestly,
were.
I'm not. I mean, we were to a point, but no, honestly, I still think no. I really genuinely think when Kevin said that, even though he's being a bit hyperbolic about should I just kill myself, him saying that tells me he did actually give a shit.
No, it doesn't.
It does to me, because if he cares if people thought that
he's an actor, he's a writer, he's an actor, he's a
long time, watched his shit, been a big follower of his. I know when shit bothers him for real, and I know how he deals with a lot of shit. I don't know him personally, but I know enough about him to where I can kind of tell when he's telling the truth and when he's not. And in this instance, I think he honestly was concerned for a hot fucking second until Malcolm Ingram.
You believe that?
Yes, I do.
After basically lying to you, Tom. After outright lying to you about what the show was and who was going to be in it and who was the key central element of it. So based on that, you believe in it.
I believe that he thought at that point he was telling the truth.
All right.
And then I believe that he genuinely felt at one point that he fucked up and didn't realize it, because admittedly he knew he was not a fan of the series.
He was a huge fan, Tom.
He never said that he was until the latter part. That part, that is the shill coming out. And that's where I got pissed about it too. And I'm not trying to stick up for him.
No, I know.
My point is that he's gone. He's lost. There is no getting him back now, but there may have been a kernel of a chance, right? And it's gone. It's a fleeting moment gone. Right. So yeah, Grand Wazoo says on that note, make this Motu, Kevin, and your path to the dark side will be complete. Exactly. That's my point. There was still a chance he could have been saved. It's too late now.
It's too late. Baby.
He's always been a shill, right? Like that I've understood. He's never been above being a shill.
Well, that was fun.
Selling out is a totally different thing, though. when he lied to us the way he did, you're right, culture. And then
Okay.
now buying into this bullshit that he's buying into, it's completely selling out.
It's fine. I'm
Well,
just
what do you
disappointed.
think I'm not saying here that's correct, culture?
No. I'm not going to argue with you. Dude, you feel how you feel. I'm not banging on you for that, man. No, I'm just saying. It's hard for me to see. Is I guess probably my best way for me to put it. It's hard for me to see that. And
Well,
it's
on
cool
that
you
note,
can. It's cool
Chris
that you
Webb
can.
says that I totally miss old Kevin Smith, and so do I. He blames it on Mary Jane. I don't, because he smoked a lot longer and he's admitted it. I blame it on the heart attack and his wife and kid.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think they two are the two of those are very have a lot to do with this.
Because he's admitted to smoking it clear back on Mallrats, even though that's another thing I could say he was an asshole about. He made Jeremy London sound like a prick for being stoned the whole time during the movie when he was just as guilty for getting high during that fucking movie. So
yeah, but high people, they think that they themselves are in control of it.
He just thought he was better because he didn't get high until after the shoot was done for the day. That's the only difference. Because he said that in an interview. He's like, oh yeah, I used to smoke, but then I would only do it after the day was done. And then I realized, why can't I just do it all the time? And then that's when he started talking about all the time. And that's the same time it became legal and all that shit. So whatever. Anyway, Rod Thunderheart is in the house and says, hail Andre, Tom, and Culture Casino. Ever since Valiant Renegade pointed out that Super Evil Lynn, even on He-Man, I only see Teabag in the H. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we saw that too. The little dick.
My.
If she puts her head the right way.
Wow.
And as Megs points out, Kevin Smith, you were the chosen one. You could have been.
Kinda. Almost.
And then Rod Thunderheart has another one here and says, hey, on Midnight's Edge in the morning, I met some German metal members. They turned me on to Austrian Death Punch. Andre, you must have heard of them. Get to the chopper and more.
I may have heard
Andre.
Yeah.
Stepped out for a second.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll bring that one back up here in a second.
And I may have heard of that band. I think it's been mentioned a few times, so I may go investigating that.
I don't know the name of the band, but for some reason that song,
Metal Death Punch, Austrian Death Punch. That's what it is. Austrian Death Punch.
And while we're waiting for Andre to come back, we've got another one from Chris Webb, who says, if you had a choice between Kevin Smith or Dave Chappelle, I'd go with Dave every time. Sorry, Kevin, but Dave rocks. Oh yeah, same here. Yeah. But Dave's not the same kind of
different
creator.
Different dude.
Totally different kind of scenarios.
Get to the chopper.
But when Andre gets back here, we'll ask him about Austrian Death Punch, and we'll check out this commercial.
Oof.
While we're waiting, though, I suppose we can bring up the fact that, there's this Renfield movie that was announced a while back. Nicholas Hoult is playing Renfield, but we now know who's playing Dracula, and it's Mr. Nicolas Cage.
Mr. Cage.
I want to suck your blood.
And stuff.
So let's this.
Yeah, this is that rumor. This was that rumor.
Well, we'll get to that.
Okay. All right. Okay. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
I brought it back up because I'm
trying to juggle this here and wait for Andre, but it's not going to work. So that's why I was talking about the Nicolas Cage thing.
Hey, you know who we didn't mention about rock bands? Spinal Tap.
The best. They go to 11.
Yeah, they go to 11, man.
Whenever we bring up Spinal Tap, though, Andre gets pissy because he doesn't know who they are, and then he's like, "Why are we?"
He doesn't know who Spinal Tap is.
He's never seen Spinal Tap.
I'm looking forward to Nicolas Cage being a vampire after your performance yesterday on the Tuesday tirade. I'm pretty jazzed, to be honest with you.
Renfield.
Yes.
Like Nicholas Hoult is Renfield, though.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
Do you think this is going to be a comedy?
I hope so.
I don't know much about it. I've heard very little about it.
Cage has a sense of humor most people don't like. I don't think he. What was the last one? Was it Raising Arizona? Right. That was the last time he did an appreciable.
Oh, he's done all kinds of
comedic role
since then. That's been comedic. And actually, now that reminds me, we missed a super chat earlier.
A super chat,
I think, unless you guys grabbed it while I was
Super
face
shot.
out from the
Super
internet.
shot.
It has to do with Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage. Raising Arizona.
I like Raising Arizona. It's a good movie.
I almost said Raising Vegas.
I also like Con Air.
Yeah, Con Air was good, but that's not a comedy, is it? It's an action
No,
movie.
but he's
Got
done other
comedic
comedies,
elements in
like
it.
that Weatherman or whatever the fuck it was called, The Family Guy or whatever it was, and that was kind of a comedy. Face Off was kind of a comedy.
It was not a comedy.
Oh my god, I'm totally Nicolas Cage. I'm John Travolta. I could eat a peach for hours. That was pretty hilarious.
Yeah. I was so great yesterday. I had so much fun with that.
Where did it
wow.
go?
Pablo has a thought in the super chat arena.
We'll get to that, but I know there was a super chat. I believe it was from Mags earlier that I think we completely missed.
I don't think so. I think we were doing really good on the super chats.
No, because it was she mentioned the a Nicolas Cage movie. I believe it was her. It could have been somebody else.
Nicolas Cage is. I've been trying to grab the member chats. I don't know if you guys went through those yet or not.
I did thank some of the members you did send me.
All right, okay.
Is Andre back yet?
Oh,
this was it. It was waiting for Nerdrotic. I'm so sorry.
Waiting for Nerdrotic says,
Did
you guys? You did. You saw the film Pig?
No, I did not, but I know some people who did.
Oh, really?
And they liked it. It was not. They said it was not what was advertised.
But
they didn't enjoy it.
See, I wanted John Wick with a pig.
That's not what it was.
Yeah, see, I thought it would have been great. It'd be great.
That was what it was advertised, but that's not quite what it was. I have heard good things about it, but I have not seen it myself, and I don't think Andre has either.
Yeah, and just to reiterate, it wasn't attacking Kevin Smith's physique. I was attacking his look. You know,
we know you were too.
Okay, all right. I don't want
now
people to
Andre.
That's not the way I work. I mean, I'm not like an ad hominem.
What are we talking about?
We were fleeting here, man. We were dying without you.
I was tap dancing.
Yeah, he was. We were trying to get him to stop.
Yeah, it was not good.
It was bad. All right, I had a super chat here that was directed at you. I got to go find now.
Okay.
Because I had to go find this one that I know we missed, and then Rod Thunderheart had a question for you here, Andre.
Yeah. Okay. If I've heard about Death Punch. Yes, I have heard about Death Punch. I've heard about them. I'm not familiar with their music, only their existence. So sorry to disappoint you. Just because they're Austrian doesn't mean this Norwegian has heard about them. But thanks for thinking of me.
There you go. There's your answer. And then speaking of the member chats, we had one from Jace Fox. Thank you so much. He's a Viking member. Sends us an Andre, but we just lost Andre. Andre Bat Tom Koala. He'll be back. And then we had Duro on, who sent another one who says, there he is, told you. Long time, no chat. It says Edgelord. Bonjour, gracias. That's what it was. Okay, got it. All right. Well, thank you, Duro on. Yes, it's been a while. Where you been?
Garçons.
Let's see here. What do we got? And we had a couple more super chats. We got this one already. You back, Andre?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, you dipped out for a second.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Then Rod Thunderheart sends in another $2 Canadian. Says after his Subway diet, that's why.
Yeah, were we talking about Kevin Smith's physique again? Did someone accuse anyone of being nasty or something? I thought we were very respectful.
I was just, all I was doing was clarifying. I wasn't actually attacking the physique. I was the mode of dress.
Yeah.
Master Clockwork says, how the fuck does he think it's a faithful adaptation to Motu when he was never a fan? Thinks was for babies and so-called adult and metal.
We actually have the answer for that. Because he listened to Ted Spiacelli, who is a Netflix head honcho, who is also a genuinely fan of Masters of the Universe. However, he's an atypical fan because he's as woke as it gets.
And honestly, going back to what I was talking about culture, and part of the reason I said that is because I'm not so sure he knew exactly everything he was getting into.
No, I don't think so at all.
What Ted and other people were saying, and it's not a good excuse at all.
And also, he never had full power. It's not that they recruited him to be like, here, do the show the way that you would want to do it. What happened is that Netflix were already developing this. They already had a story in place, and then they needed someone to front it, someone to be the public face, and of course, who would also be able to give like his spin on it and stuff like that. But much of what we see was already locked in before Kevin Smith ever got there.
Yeah, I mean, he worked on the scripts and some other things, but we've been hearing some things that we have reason to believe that, yeah, he had very little to do with things in the pre-production part of it. But yeah, his whole adult metal bullshit. Fuck that. And then Chris X14N sends in another $5. Says, just like that woman said, if you don't like my politics, don't buy my book. That's one of the people I was referring to earlier.
Yeah, and people stopped buying her book, and it got canceled.
And if you don't like my politics, don't buy my book. Problem solved.
And the problem was solved.
Yeah.
Solved a lot.
Apart from for her employer, their problem was only beginning.
And then Mike,
but they kind of forgot that coming, didn't they?
Firing in another $19.99 here. Says, let's book Kevin Smith for an interview of Midnight's Edge. I will take the day off work to personally explain to Kevin what he did wrong. Send me in, coaches. I would love to. I don't think he would now. That's my point. I was.
Well, he can try. It doesn't hurt. But the worst thing that can happen is that he says hell to the fuck no.
No, I know, but that was what I was getting at. Is I think we had a chance, and that window has now closed.
Well, yeah.
I don't think he'd listen to us now. Is my
Kevin
point.
Smith's Deconic? Is that what we should call him now?
Pretty much. Nicholas Horton sends in £10 and says Mattel should have bought back the Mike Young Productions team and given us the ultimate battleground story battle that was planned for the canceled third season of the 2000 show.
Yeah, they should have. They should have. Unfortunately, they went to Netflix, and on Netflix there was Ted Biaselli. Yeah. And he is the guy that really should be blamed for most of this.
Yeah, and while you were gone, we did bring up that Nicolas Cage is going to be Dracula. So what you think on that, Andre?
I'm excited to see it. I think it's going to be a very different Dracula, but I'm always open to more interpretations of Dracula because he's been played by so many over the years.
Yeah.
So many. And I think it's always cool when you have someone that don't seem like a fit at all, but they can bring a certain kind of madness or intensity to the role.
Actually, I think
Nicolas Cage can bring both of that. So, yeah.
He almost kind of reminds me of a young Christopher Lee in some ways, too, when he does certain things, just with his looks. Not his acting, his looks.
Exactly, yeah. So, I'm very excited to see the approach. I mean, apparently this is going to be a little bit more like humoristic.
I have no idea, but that's
parody in some sense. I get that impression because it's actually a Renfield project. It's not like Dracula per se, rather it's Renfield, which is like the
sidekick.
It's the involuntary sidekick.
Yeah, so I mean, I assume it's going to have a little bit of a humorous bent. So Nicolas Cage, I think, is perfect probably for it. To be honest with you. Then Pablo Papano says, I think he really started smoking after Jay and Bob when his movies went to shit. He had to become a male feminist after saying nothing about Harvey's rapes. Whatever. After Smith outed Bruce Willis, etc. Well, here's the thing. He admitted to smoking way back when, way before he even made movies. As far as like smoking all the time, though, that's debatable because he had talked about doing that later in life. He even quit for a little while and stuff like that. As far as the male feminist thing, he's been that since he married his wife. The Harvey thing, I really don't know how much he knew. He
was never like in the club with all the cool kids that were.
There's even questions of how much Tarantino really knew. There's questions of certain other guys. The only guy I really knows that I know certain things is, and that's just because certain people that were involved. And I'm not even going to name names at this point. It's just there are definitely people who knew, but at this point, you got people like Leslie Headland and shit out there who are probably at ground zero, who are never going to be held accountable. So, I mean, I'm not trying to play the what about game or whatever, but as far as that goes, a lot of those people that involved with that, it's so far in the past now that I'm not so sure that we can hold anybody to those kind of standards of, speaking out and stuff like that, because we don't know what was known by whom. And I'm sure Harvey did a lot of this stuff as much as he could, without other people knowing. So it's just one of those things that just because people knew things like that were going on, they may not have necessarily knew of any specifics. So we can't really, and this is another reason why we don't get into a lot of this shit. And Bruce Willis' business was way different. That's just, everybody was talking about how much of a pain in the ass he was to work with. Kevin was just the first one who had enough gall to say anything publicly.
Yeah.
Once he said something, there was a lot of people who chimed in, and now Bruce Willis does a bunch of straight to video fare. That's why. Because, people got sick and tired of his bullshit. But, that is one way of looking at it, I guess. Anybody got anything to say on that after?
Not as such, no.
And Rod Thunderheart says, "Hail chat, get to the chopper. Likes, get to the chopper. Yeah, get to the chopper." I know we're losing culture here soon. Do you got a few minutes? So we're going to watch this Norwegian commercial.
Oh, of course. Yeah, absolutely. I am
and
here.
Etienne says, "I need to stop making excuses for Kevin Smith." I'm not. I'm really not. I'm just trying to see it from all angles as I should, and not try to judge everything. But as a personal fan, I'm pissed. I hate him. I ripped up my poster for a reason. It wasn't because I was just whatever pissy. I was just, no. I got to a point where that had been my breaking point with him. I'd stuck up for him for years on his bullshit on other things, and yeah, it just got too far too fast, and sad to say
there's no going back.
Yeah. Mecha J says, after everything that's happened with Kevin Smith, how well do you guys see Clerks 3 doing? Oh, I don't see it doing that well. It'll do probably about as well as the Jay and Silent Bob reboot. Then Joachim Stark asked if he missed a super chat. We didn't get a super chat that I know, but we do have the
actually, if you go into the private chat, I do believe you missed one.
I was just saying that, and the member chat we have here for I guess we did miss I thought this was a member chat, but I guess
no, that's a super chat. It's from earlier today.
So Santa is the father of all the children, and no, Tom is not a family.
Yeah. Basically, he's referring to a Swedish movie called Tomten är far till alla barnen, which means Santa is the father of all the children. And no, Tom, it's not what you think. It's a family comedy. I am not familiar with that movie myself, but yeah, that's quite a suggestive title. But it's not. But it's a Swedish movie and not a Danish movie. Had it been a Danish movie, it would have been Santa literally impregnating all the women in the neighborhood.
Gotcha.
This is Swedish, so it's a family movie.
So no, sorry about that. I guess I did accidentally miss one. Thank you for reminding us. We got that. George says best comic Dracula was Leslie Nielsen, and Dracula done loving it. It's debatable. That to me was like one of Mel Brooks' lesser films. Luca Rocks does ask though what the best screen Dracula is. That's a good question.
That's a very good question.
I love most of them. There's like very few I don't like, I guess, is my point. But if I had to pick one, if somebody put a gun to my head, you got to go with Bela Lugosi. I mean, he kind of set the standard. What about you guys, Culture?
Lon Chaney, maybe? Was he not?
I think that Lon Chaney also was Dracula in one of the many movies that Universal made later on. I lose track of all those Universal movies.
Bela Lugosi is probably a great choice. Who was the guy that did originally in Nosferatu from the 20s?
Yes, exactly. Max Schreck.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to pick. Any of those three would be great, I think. Probably the best.
As for me, I'd go with Christopher Lee. Not in any of the Hammer movies, but in Jess Franco's Dracula from 1970, I believe. That is one movie where Christopher Lee had already played Dracula 6-7 times for Hammer, and he was fed up with it. He didn't want to do it anymore. But then Jess Franco convinced him and said, come back for me for this one movie. We're going to do it faithful to the book, which is something that was never done in Hammer. And he was persuaded by that. So he came back for that one movie, where he then played Dracula one final time, I believe it was. And it has a great cast. It has Klaus Kinski in the Renfield role, actually.
Oh, wow.
The only issue with it is that I think it's really weak from a technical perspective, as in the crew kind of like messed up a little bit in that movie.
Yeah, I look, if you go from the comedic side of things, I think somebody mentioned it in the chat. Leslie Nielsen was great in Dead and Loving It, but hey, you know.
Yeah.
Man, this
and now, is it Norwegian commercial time? Because I'm freaking dreading this.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
It is Norwegian commercial. No.
Oh, God. Countrymen, please don't embarrass me too much.
Oh, here we go. This is weird already.
Vad syns det om? Du har ju försökt att tänka dig in.
I'm very confused.
Well, he's obviously an old singleton. And he had a crush on Santa. And it's mutual.
Then you what? I didn't hear anything he said. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, no, obviously, like, he's an old singleton. And he had a crush on Santa when he saw him by accident. And the feeling is obviously mutual. Anyway, carry on.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, yeah, getting ready for Santa.
Du snorkar. Det kommer nästa år.
Oi.
Jeg har mange pakker jeg må levere. Jeg kommer tilbake neste år.
Ja, alle bor i hvert en sant, det drømmer jeg på meg.
Det er fin. Det er fin. Jeg kommer til å savne deg. Det er mange som venter på pakkene sine. En dag i året. Et år til.
I think I'm gonna throw up. Can I get hazard pay for this?
I'm just fucking dying of embarrassment watching this.
God jul!
Jeg fikk tak i litt assistanse i år, så jeg kan være sammen med deg.
Oh, Lord. How much is left of this crap? Jesus Christ. This is the longest 4 minutes of my life. What are they even advertising here?
I would imagine it's the Post.
Amazon, maybe?
No, it's going to be the Postal Service. Probably. Yeah, the Post.
My God, that was the longest 4 minutes of my life. Holy shit.
I'm so embarrassed. Oh my God. Okay, I'm speechless.
No, my genitals are not confused 6. I'm like fighting throwing up at this point. It's not like I have anything against homosexuality. That was just
That's all cool. That's all cool. I just think that this is like a really weird way for the Post to do commercials. I mean, we have like some other like pro-gay commercials, which are actually really good ones. But yeah, I'm not a fan of this. Not at all.
Taker 610 asks, so what is Mrs. Claus up to these days? I don't know, but does Santa's husband know?
Well, she may be out with the head elf or something. I don't know.
This was it just felt wrong.
I'm still processing. I
feel dirty.
I'm thinking of my.
I think I prefer Coca-Cola's Christmas themed commercials. Let's put it that way.
Meg says at the start of the season, now I'm dead inside.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Just to be clear, like no one here has anything against gay, and like there's plenty Norwegian commercials which has like gay acceptance as a theme, and some of those are really, really good and heartwarming. There's like one, for instance.
This just came off creepy as fuck, I'll say.
Yeah, I know. That's like the thing. It's like here you have like a romance where they see each other like once a year for 5 years before Santa decides to outsource delivery to the Norwegian Post Service. Yeah, good luck with that.
Just so he can fuck his boyfriend. It's just weird.
Yeah, no, I just think it's like really weird and off kilter. There's so many. There are some really, like, for instance, there's one commercial which is like for like a phone company where you have like a gay teenager who's a hockey player, and he struggles with coming out to his friends, and he tries and he can't do it, and you see him struggling on the bus, and then suddenly he's invited to a secret Facebook group where they basically say that those of us who know that this guy is gay and we don't care, and it's all his friends, the ones that he wants to come out to. So that's like a really nice, heartwarming commercial.
Yeah.
But this thing was just awkward. Just awkward. I don't know who did this commercial, but seriously, to stick to the movies or something.
Rod Thunderheart says, made me think of the old Folgers family. You know what ad? I don't remember that being a thing, but okay. Yeah, and then Jeff C is like, "What the fuck, posted?"
Wow.
Yeah.
Was there family destruction in that commercial?
No, there wasn't. It was just like this weird uncle, and he had loads of family and stuff like that. It was just this weird old single uncle.
Okay, all right,
yeah,
that's cool. All right,
there was no family. There was like no like ditch your family or something like that. Quite the contrary. Right. That was all there. That was like his nephews and his
Is there a way to make that faster?
I should have sped it up. That's my fault.
All right.
Anyway, we got a rumor here that we've been talking about for a while, and other people have talked about, Mikey Sutton and others included, that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are set to take over Star Wars.
Yeah, and we actually have a video coming in about this, and this is 100% in line with our previous video and reporting, where we basically said that I haven't read the details of this one, but what we said basically is that, yeah, Kathleen Kennedy has been renewed. It's horrible for appearances, but Star Wars was taken away from her a long time ago. It's Favreau and Filoni that run that ship along with Michelle Rejwan. That's what we heard. And this, I should imagine, is confirmation of that.
Yeah.
There you go, kids.
Well, this particular article comes to us from WDW Pro's own website. It's called thatparkplace.com. And here it is. It's been a great week for being right. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that because it's been bizarre to see things I've leaked exclusively here at That Park Place all start being confirmed in just a few days. Maybe Disney will announce Moana 2. Whoops. Crud. This is the problem with using that scroll wheel thing. Moana 2 in the next few days so I can win a trophy or something. Just kidding on that one. I don't expect them to announce Moana sequel until next year. And no, I don't want to be braggadocious. I'm just glad to be able to bring scoops to readers such as yourself. But remember when I said back in September, in the upcoming final years of her time with Lucasfilm, Kennedy is likely to have influence over Indiana Jones 5, Rogue Squadron, and The Acolyte. Outside of those projects, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni essentially own Star Wars. Significant turbulence awaits them as they attempt to repair the post-Gina Carano Star Wars landscape while simultaneously trying to please mainstream audiences, all while working at a Lucasfilm studio that is hyper-partisan to the point of near parody. Yet, that comes from an article I did 2 months before anyone else announced that Kathleen Kennedy was being rehired. In that article, I said Kathleen Kennedy was almost certainly being rehired based on the information I had. Well, now, that the part in quotes is also coming true. Sources have been telling me that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are being handed the keys to all future Star Wars movies for the foreseeable future. They plan to create a Star Wars cinematic universe that is wholly their own. All that is left is a bit of extra pay negotiations and budgetary concerns. Kathleen Kennedy, while in charge of Lucasfilm for the next 3 years, is being stripped of any control of Star Wars outside of The Acolyte, which may get canceled, and some tertiary projects. And that's just what I said. One thing that you should notice about all of this, isn't it funny how Bob Chapek locked Kennedy into a contract where she really can't publicly fuss with him before he took away her Star Wars powers? She isn't in control of the Disney Plus series anymore, and she isn't in control of the movies. She's just an executive producer on Indiana Jones 5. And if you don't believe me, while I was preparing for this article, guess who else has gotten the same intel? Well, or so. Grace Randolph. Well, I hear Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are in talks to head over to the movie side of Star Wars. That would be brilliant.
Hold up.
I fucking knew it! Oh!
Yeah.
I have to pat our Midnight Edge on the back here. We've been saying this for months.
Well, almost a year now, more.
Yeah.
That it was headed that direction, that they would get more and more power. And now it's because this is just a matter of making it formal that they're in charge of the movies as well. From what I'm hearing, behind the scenes, they're already in charge of the movies.
Yeah. Well, we'd heard some stuff like this, and again, lots of things had been leaking out there. A lot of people were like, "Well, it hasn't happened yet," and then they were like, "Well, her contract got renewed," and so none of that was true. And so we'll see. Let's just watch and see what happens, and then we can all make judgments from there. But look, people have heard a lot of different things that indicated that Favreau was going to be more deeply involved in Star Wars. So maybe it was a matter of financials. I don't know. But anyway, so essentially the rest of the story is different wording, but same.
No, it wasn't really financials. It was a matter of depowering Kathleen Kennedy in a way where she couldn't really fight back.
Made her inert.
Yeah, exactly. Make her inert, because my understanding is that Chapek really tried to get her out of the company, period. But this may be what he had to settle for. Have her depowered and defanged, but still there.
Yeah.
And that may be as good as it gets.
Yeah, but look, this tweet is an interesting thing because
and this also is what Commandant Pasha said. I just have to highlight that as well. That he also predicted this. That she's going to get a contract. That contract might be a gag order, something that puts her off the table.
Isn't that interesting, though? Because consider this. This is exactly contrary to what Favreau's plan is, especially for most talent and showrunners and producers and all that. He gave her a 3-year deal. He's aiming for everybody to only get 1-year deals. So that's...
Yeah, you mean Chapek. Yeah, exactly. That only goes to show
Yeah.
that her contract is something unique. It's something that no one else gets.
Well, and
because it's like one of those honorary positions where you are promoted to a point where you were kind of like, I heard someone say that they do, I don't recall exactly who. I would like to credit the person. It was someone here in the YouTube sphere that they do this in like Japan, where you have someone that used to be good at one point, but now they're old and they can no longer hack it, but they don't want to dishonor the person by firing them. They promote them up to like an office with their amazing views. They can sit and stare out the window all day. They get their salary, they have the title, but you have the good people that are doing the actual job.
Yeah. Well, anyway, the last part of this was different wording, but same message. Kennedy is a figurehead, and Star Wars now belongs to Favreau and Filoni. Bring on the Favroni Star Wars universe. Favreau. It sounds like a weird pizza. So
yeah.
Anyway.
And you know what's going to come true before long with that as well?
No.
The gradual removal of the sequel trilogy from canon.
Man, that'd be a long time coming. But unfortunately, gentlemen, and I really wanted to comment further on this, but I have to step away.
I'm not so sure that's going to happen, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, everybody, I want you to stay on here and chat about it. I'll be listening from the car. Thank you guys for having me today.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. It's always a pleasure when you can join. Everyone, check out Cultured Casino's channel.
Yes, indeed. And on that, Rob Altus says Santa is supposed to go down the chimney, not up it. That's true. Corsia Raven says my childhood was destroyed. Sorry to see. Kaiju King Gabriel says my poor childhood is dying in a ditch somewhere. These are responses, of course, to the Santa Claus commercial.
Oh, of course. No, of course.
Darius Munchausen says he sees you when you're sleeping. I know, that's creepy as fuck, right? Then again, Mexican Iron Man sends in another $4.99. Says Andre, on behalf of the team at Midnight's Edge, good freaking Lord, I pulled over to the side of the road to watch this. Hazard pay for today's panel. I said,
oh my God, yeah. Well,
hazard pay, and you weren't even here, and you should get hazard pay. Primer says Santa loves to jingle his bells for his own team. Whoa, Primer could be right there on that one. And what is this incessant need to make Santa gay? I just don't get it.
Well, he's kind of like a symbol in most of Western culture, right?
Yeah,
that's very recognizable. And I would love to be able to tell you the reasoning behind this, but yeah, I don't think that the Norwegian Post is going to get any more traffic than they already were getting anyway because of this.
Jesse, aren't you driving, Jesse? Be careful.
I do, however, think that the increasing number of competitors to the Norwegian Post Office may be getting a little bit more extra traffic this year.
Yeah. Mrs. Claus be like, how the hell did you get syphilis, Chris? You know. Yeah. And on that note, I think we've kind of killed this with that Santa thing. That was
yeah, I hadn't seen it. You showed it to me for the first time.
That was the first time I actually watched it as well. I had just heard about it. Sean Carter says I could be wrong, but I think it was Kelvington who referenced the Japanese window seat promotion and Overlord DVDs channel. That could be it. That could be it.
Kelvington's awesome. Peter Smigelski says, KK, this is called the Peter Principle. No relation to me. It simply states that a person gets promoted to their highest level of incompetence.
Yeah, to the position where they can no longer excel and no longer be promoted any higher.
Chris says they're trying to expose children to adult themes to make Santa gay. I don't know if it's that so much as they're trying to kill the nuclear family. I think that's the bigger thing. What do you think, Andre?
Yeah, I don't. In general, I would say that, but there's no overt goal for that here. I mean, this is the person we saw in this particular commercial. Like he was gay and single anyway.
No, but Santa wasn't. Not
well,
normally.
Maybe this Santa was. I don't know.
That's my point. Is like the whole fact that Santa normally is perceived as like, you know, having Mrs. Claus and of course the elves and all that business and da 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 da. But anyway, I could be wrong. He might be more right. I don't know. He might be more right. I don't know. It's getting ridiculous. And Sadie says it's time to end the show.
Yeah.
Jeff C says, I think my childhood just went. What is that? What?
Grøftefill.
Oh,
My childhood
that
just went
thing, yeah.
grøftefill, yeah.
And then
Yeah,
Master
he's in
Clockwork
need of
says,
alcohol and loads of it.
I saw Daddy kissing Santa Claus. Yeah. Sadie's even pissed. Yeah. And Darren, I know that too. On top of the other, it could be the other thing too. I could be wrong. Santa is committing adultery. Oh Lord. Good call.
Yeah. Well, this is the Coca-Cola Santa. So yeah. Oh my God. Well, we should have some. Actually, we should end this with some better Norwegian commercials to lighten the mood here.
Why do you have one?
Yeah. I do. Just give me 1 second here.
I was gonna say, otherwise, I think I have a Norwegian Christmas song somewhere.
Oh, okay. No. If Mike is still listening here, I'm just gonna see what we can do here. We haven't played this for a little while, but in honor of Midnight's Edge Espanol, and of course Mike, the Mexican Iron Man, and just to like cleanse our palates a little bit. Let's see what we can find here. I just have to find it among a million other files. Here we go. Let's find a pizza commercial for a Norwegian taco pizza.
You got to have it much more ready than that if you're going to sell it like that, Andre.
Yeah, well, and it's not working either. It didn't come up. It was supposed to come now.
Okay. Give me the link here or something.
Yeah, no, just give me 1 second here and I'll find it. Hell, why is it not working?
Mike, this is why we need a producer.
Oh, never mind. I'll find it and send a link to you because it's on YouTube. So I'll find it there. So I do need that. Here we go. I'll send you the link in the private chat, and then you can put it on.
All right. And thank you, Daryl the Derelict, for being a member as well. We appreciate that. Let me try it this way and see if you can hear it.
We're gonna go down there and look around for clues. You want to come?
Can you hear it?
Want to break into a dead guy's apartment?
Do you have sound? No? Okay, nobody's answering me. All right, we'll do it this way just to make sure we got sound. Okay. Here we go. Here's a palate cleanser, kids.
Respeto a Dios. ¿Has oído? ¿Has visto? Inspectas estado. Solo vegetarianos resiste tentado. Delego hemos tragar el menú. Gracias por mí. Es solo uno.
It's the Three Amigos.
Hablamos nacho pizza. Hablamos hamburguesa. Hablamos por toda comunidad. Tapas de nacho, para sol, para niños el crispa. Ocho nacho topping, grandiosa nacho pizza. Nacho pizza, hablamos hamburguesa. Hablamos por toda comunidad.
I fucking want one.
Yeah, they're delicious.
Oh my God, they look amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, there you have it. Another Norwegian commercial to cleanse the palate after the previous one. So that's like Norwegian Spanish, or real Spanish.
I want one.
Yeah, and they're quite nice.
Can you send me one in the mail?
There actually are restrictions against sending that. The U.S. Border Patrol, they don't like you sending food to America. I had to like read all the rules and stuff when I sent the package to R&B the other day.
Jason Sci-Fi for BTV is arguing that's not pizza, it's a flat taco.
Yeah.
Oh shit. All right. Let's see here. Let's get to some koalas in the raid. Thank you so much, kids. You've been amazing. Double check and make sure we didn't miss any super chats here real quick. I don't think we did though. It looks like we're clear. But thank you so much, guys. We appreciate it. Take care of yourselves and each other. We'll be back here on Friday with Cameron, and God knows who else will show up. But until then, here's some koalas in the rain.
Koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain. No fucks given. Koala, koala. Koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain. No fucks given. Koala, koala. Koalas in the rain.